Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and tonight is my big live stream with Jingles, marking the first time that we played together for 3 months, and so I decided to go back to the last time we played on April the 12th and try and find if there are any highlights from the live stream that we played together. And yeah, firstly, we've got the Type 61. This is the Tier 9 Japanese medium tank, and a lot of people overlook this tank, and you know what, I can understand why. Recently the M46 got some serious love with its rate of fire now being ridiculously high. Its rate of fire is pretty much tier 9.5. Now, while the rate of fire of this tank isn't that bad, it's 6 rounds a minute, I just feel like this tank, the Type 61, is way behind the M46 at the moment. But it still does have a few things going for it, albeit the same kind of things that the M46 has going for it, i.e. 10 degrees of gun depression. Actually, thinking about it, the main thing about this vehicle that's special compared to the M46 is the APCR ammunition on this tank. 258mm of penetration is excellent for a tier 9 tank. That's something that the M46 can only dream of, I believe, with 220mm of penetration. And also, that means that the velocity of these shells is fantastic. 1,478 meters per second. That means you don't really have to give any lead, just pretty much put your reticle in the middle of the target and it should go in. But unfortunately, as we can see, the 6 rounds a minute rate of fire, not quite enough to put a second round in. But there we go, another one into the T44. There is another aspect that is better about the Type 61, and that is its accuracy. 0.36 is way better than the 0.39 on the M46 pattern, and that can be one of the most frustrating aspects of the tier 9 American medium tank, that while you do have that great rate of fire, you just keep missing. And also, hard to snipe at long ranges with the poor shell velocity on the standard AP rounds. Now look, don't get me wrong, I still think the M46 is probably a way better tank than the Type 61. Not only is its mobility completely comparable, in fact its top speed limit is slightly faster, but it has way better hull armor and it is a much smaller profile, at least for me. And also, one thing I despise about the Type 61 is the awful cupola on top of the tank. Look at this. If this is not a big shoot me here icon, I don't know what is. But it looks like we're about to pick up our first kill of the game there on a Lerva. And what we're trying to do right now is dig Jingles out of trouble, but unfortunately doesn't look like he's going to be able to stay alive for much longer, as the M103 has him in his gun sights and shuts down the Leopard prototype. As kind of like a let's get revenge for this bastard who managed to take Jingles out, we decide to push through, and I get the revenge kill there, taking out the M103 who did kill Jingles. And now me and Phil are in a bit of a tricky situation here, being hounded down by multiple enemies on the enemy team here. But focus them down one by one, securing our 3rd kill there on the T44, and our reload should just be in time to get the IS-3. Looks like I managed to ricochet that IS-3 shell who was aiming for Phil, and Phil is slightly worse for wear. Actually, he's got half my hit points right now, so if anyone should be taking the hits, it's me. But you know what? All tier 9 medium tanks, when you get to this kind of a stage with their, well, at least the tier 9 medium tanks that have got 10 degrees of gun depression, are just beautiful for working ridges. Unfortunately, it looks like Phil takes a big hit there from the E75 in the side, and he isn't interested in shooting me by the looks of it. Looks like he only wants to shoot Phil right now. Phil comes and puts another good hit into him, and I don't mind taking the hit right now, just want to finish off that E75. Got to keep your friends' guns in the game. So gosh, 3,800 damage in just under 4 minutes, 5 kills, and the FV4202 on our team on the ridgeline behind secures that T34-100. Wow, what an absolute riot this has been so far, and I make a really bad misplay right now, as I did not see that ISU-152. I was tunnel visioning trying to hit the T25-2 on the enemy team, and I'm bloody lucky that that ISU-152 was not using the BL-10, otherwise most of my hit points would have evaporated there. Now we got to deal with this T25-2. It looks like he'd actually completely changed positions. I was expecting him to be further south. But tier 9 medium tanks versus tier 7 tank destroyers, that's not exactly a fair fight. And I tell you what, we are just getting bloody lucky with our kills right now. We're on 7. You know what? Make that 8. I cannot believe it. 8 kills in 4.5 minutes. That's not something that usually happens in World of Tanks, but there's still 2 left on the enemy team. We've got to deal with a Conqueror and an FV207. That British self-propelled gun. Oh, a bit of a low roll there. Unfortunately, we're not going to be killing him in a single shot. But you know what, the mobility on the Type 61 is not that bad, so we should be able to push around the corner and hopefully be able to finish him off. So you know what, after watching this replay, it looks like the Type 61 is a fantastic tank. But you know what, I think the M46 would have pretty much done exactly what was done here. Albeit that you might have had to fire a few APCR rounds in the M46 to have to deal with the E75, for example, as he was bombing it round the corner. And that's where the better penetration does come very much in handy in the Type 61. And here we go. Will we pick up our 10th? Oh, absolute disaster. No Pools medal for us as the Conqueror bounces us. But wait, is really nobody going to kill him? How ridiculous is that? We get a second chance, and this time the gunner puts it into the side of the Tier 9 British heavy tank. We secure our 10th kill, 5,500 damage in 5.5 minutes. So we didn't really have to do anything special in this replay. I just think it was a case of the stars aligning, but I guess some impeccable accuracy, I believe hitting all 21 shots that we fired. And while this replay made the Type 61 look like an incredible tank, while it's not bad, I just think that there are other better Tier 9 medium tanks at least that I'd rather play. But anyway, let's get stuck into some more gameplay. So now I'm playing in the Tier 10 Czechoslovakian medium tank, the TVP T 50/51, and Jingles is in his Batchatillon, and we've got Falan, a wargaming community coordinator, who is playing in the Tier 10 Japanese medium tank, the SDB-1. Now this vehicle, the TVP, was top of the tree, I believe it a couple of months ago, right? And I finally started to get in my rhythm for this vehicle recently, and I picked up my second mark of excellence, I think on Sunday, in this tank. I'm probably going to do a full tank review on it soon, so I'll share my full opinion on it. But I think in the hands of a capable player, this tank is... well, the possibilities are very high for carrying games, just simply because you dish out an unprecedented amount of damage in a short period. The only other tank that could compare with this, the WTL V100, was removed, right? And oh my word, Jingles has got himself into a sticky situation here. Well, actually not. Look, Jingles picks up his first kill, and he secures his second as well. And look at that. Look what we were able to put out with the TVP there. We put out 4 shots literally in 4.5 seconds from the first round, and that is because the delay between your shots is 1.5 seconds, meaning that we just ripped apart 2 Tier 8 light tanks, which are very valuable vehicles on the enemy team, and we barely lost any health. I took a hit, looks like Jingles took a hit, and now hopefully Jingles is going to be reloading. But one thing that I should highlight is that while the Batchat will not even be close to reloading to take on the Conqueror, the TVP is ready to go again, and that is because of the magazine differences. And we've got Falan there in his SDB-1 who does finish off the Conqueror. What a lovely composition this is showing to be right now. Oh my word, Jingles is going ham, and unfortunately a Batchat seems to have caught him out in the open right now. I'm reloading still. I'm trying to take a little bit of the pressure off Jingles. Hopefully we can take this Batchat out. Oh, the first one misses, second one in, third one in, and fourth one finishes him off. But unfortunately it is too late for my buddy, and Jingles has fallen in his Batchat. But you know what? he died young and left a beautiful corpse, right? Going for the second kill in the game. And as we're going to see, he's also near the top on damage in the post-game stats. But we can't worry about that now. You know what? That was a very effective trade. Jingles basically lost himself for a Tier 10 Batchat on the enemy team, who is a very good player, a Tier 9 British heavy tank, and also those 2 light tanks. A really good ambush by us there with the platoon. Now I leave Falan to go and mop up, hopefully, the remaining vehicles there, because I see an opportunity to support 2, well, at that point, 2 Tier 8 tanks against 2 Tier 10 tanks. And these are the opportunities that you need to look for in the TVP. You want to try and find the sides of heavy tanks, or hopefully maybe the front of softer armored tanks. And that's because this vehicle has only got 248 millimeters of penetration. And so just that kind of awareness are really the plays that you need to make in this tank. You need to be spending the vast majority of your time just reading the map, looking for where the next opportunity will be to safely unload. And boy, that opportunity was very, very good for us, as we managed to finish off the IS-4 with 3 shots into his side, and even put another round into the Object 430. Great result for us. And now we're going to try and hunt down these medium tanks. Now, as we can see here, we've got a bit of synergy going on with Falan here. Falan is going to make his way up onto this location, while I'm going to take the lower road, and hopefully we'll have these guys in a bit of an ambush. As we can see here, I missed the first on the Black Dog, second in, third hits him but doesn't damage him. the 4th into the top of his turret, and Falan manages to finish him off. Unfortunately, we do take a hit from the Object 430 there, but I'm not too worried about him because he is on a rather low amount of his hit points, 256, meaning that Falan is going to just come around the corner and polish him off. Will he? Will he? Will he? Yes, he does. He picks up his 3rd kill, and now I'm going to be scoping the back of this tier 10 British heavy tank, the FV215B. And this is the kind of gameplay that you just need to develop in the TVP, and there's no doubt that I've been lucky this game, and the fact that Jingles and Falan were with me really did allow me to work a hell of a lot of damage out here safely. We put 2 in, the 3rd in, we pull back, and we don't even take a round from the FV215B. 1,222 damage done there. That's a great result for this vehicle. And the Black Dog is trying to run away. The TVP takes a hit from the FV, and it looks like the Black Dogs are hopefully going to be able to finish off that FV215B. And in fact, the E100 comes and takes his honor. So a great game here so far. Less than 5 minutes long, 6,000 damage, and 2 kills. When this tank just gains momentum like this, it just does exceptionally well. I feel that the TVP does really well when the battle lines are blurred, if that makes sense. Let me try and explain a little bit more. When you can find targets that are isolated and neutralize them, and then continuously do that, when it's not a case of there are multiple tanks on the enemy team holding corridors and having all of their guns at you at the same time, it just gives you opportunity to trade your health. And yeah, you do trade your health in this tank because its armor is positively awful. 65 on the front of the hull, 120 on the turret, but 120 on the turret, and it's not that well angled, meaning that you just take damage. So it's up to you to make sure that you try and trade those hits that you take, hopefully for entire magazines put into your opponents. So from here on, our team just hunts down the remaining artillery, and we end up with 6,200, and boy, our platoon did well here as we secure, what is that? Is that 9 kills between us, which is certainly an awesome game by any standards. And you guys might notice the stark contrast between the previous game, where it felt like I was just getting really lucky with my kills, to this one where I guess we kind of had to earn them a little bit more, right? And it was more evenly distributed. The only shame in this replay was the fact that Jingles fell so early, but it looks like death blooms around him, because take a look at the graveyard of tanks, including some rather dangerous ones that are just surrounding him. And hopefully tonight when we play together on Twitch, we're going to be looking after each other, because I'm really hungry for a crucial contribution medal. So our first game on El Haloof was just a lucky ride, a pulls medal and a high caliber in just over 5.5 minutes for 5,400 damage and 1,600 base experience points for our 10 kills. The only thing we really had to do in this game was show impeccable marksmanship. 21 shots, 21 hits, and 19 of those penetrated. That is certainly one of the advantages of the Type 61, those rather nice standard APCR rounds, way better than the M46s. And it looks like we didn't need to fire many, if any, premium rounds, as we made 37,000 credits profit. Next up, the TVP T50/51. We get a high caliber medal in this game, and that's for 6,200 damage. While Jingles did fall first, he picked up a couple of kills, which was more than most players on our team, and he hit every single shell that he fired. 555, 1,700 damage and 2 kills. That's what the Bat Chat is special for, hey guys. But the TVP showcased its bursty DPM advantage over the Bat Chat. When the enemy tank doesn't have like 1,500 hit points, you're far better to be in a TVP, because you're going to pretty much reload in half the time afterwards, making this vehicle capable of putting out a huge amount of damage in not all that long. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you're watching this video on Tuesday, it's very likely that I'm still live streaming with Jingles. I'm going to put a link in the description box down below, which you can click through and come and check it out. And also, as you can see up here right now, I now have my first unique mission in game, which I think is going to be worth about 10 to 15,000 bonus experience that I'll be giving to everyone who comes along to watch tonight. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited about it, but if you can't make it, don't worry, I'm going to try and make a YouTube video highlight from the event, so you can check that out on the channel soon. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.